What percentage of people are driving versus flying?
I can't know. I'm not sure.
You two are driving? That's so fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna have a little day.
The drive's really not bad. I would encourage you. What are you going up Friday?
Yeah.
Are you guys going to listen to the podcast while you drive?
No. Bang out a lot of episodes.
Welcome back to Oops the Podcast.
All right, lots to unpack here.
I got something for you.
Please. Julio, I don't know where you came up with that idea.
Dude, this guy was a huge turkey.
What is this, Japan? Which is
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I hadn't told you about it.
No, and I also just assumed you were saving it for the pod if you were going to tell me,
Yeah.
which of course you were.
Oh,
But
yeah.
It's that time again, baby.
It's that time of year.
Oops the Podcast. Thursday. We are here. We're with you. I'm here. I'm with Francis and Ryan and Chris, along with all of you as well. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you.
Julio, Chris, Ryan, Francis. The old
Chris.
GCRF.
Grr,
Not a lot of vowels.
grr, grr.
Yeah.
A good time, baby.
What's up?
I was at my parents' 40th anniversary party.
40th anniversary.
Fun times.
Congratulations to them.
Thank
That's
you.
quite a milestone.
They say thank you. How long have your parents been married for?
Probably just about there.
Yeah.
Probably somewhere between 35 and 40. I think probably, well, let me think actually. So I can probably 37.
They were born in they were married in 1985.
I don't know exactly, but
Okay.
yeah, north of 35, I would think. Yeah.
Excellent.
That's
Excellent. amazing.
Not
Pretty
that many
good.
couples make it that far.
It was, dude, pretty solid work on their part. The party was fun. It was interesting. It's probably one of the bigger parties they've hosted at the house. It wasn't anything crazy, but it was a solid amount of folks in the mix. Some good stuff went down, dude. First of all, I decided that we would contribute to the party by picking up some sushi from our favorite spot nearby, where my dad's been a patron for many years. And in fact, he's been there longer than the owners even have, because he would go when the previous owner, he's outlived multiple owners in this establishment. I think he has a lifetime discount.
Wow.
The restaurant's called Japanica 2. It is in Middletown, Connecticut. I suspect Wesleyan students, if you're listening, you're familiar with the place. It seems like a hot spot.
Japanica 2?
Japanica 2.
What's that about?
I believe the original location was in Farmington, Connecticut, if I believe. May or may not still be there. Japanica 2 still survives.
What is Japanica a portmanteau of? Japan and America?
That's a very good question. I never actually thought about that. But now that you...
It has to be.
It may be, actually.
Which is ridiculous.
Hey, man, just don't start insulting the name of our favorite restaurant. All right, dude, back off, man.
Japanica.
I don't think Japanica. I think I think that name is popular. Like
Is it?
I'll Google Japanica and multiple options pop up.
Cool. I don't hate it. I mean, I like it.
Well, one thing that's funny,
I think I
Japan.
like it now.
To speak about that movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once again, at the beginning of the movie, they are making fun of English, saying that he and she is confusing because in Chinese, there's only one word for that, which explains something that we had always found interesting, was that this guy, Walter, who used to own Japanica, would always speak about the other guy, Robert, who worked there, and say she when talking about Robert, when we thought that was funny because he should have been saying he. But because he was translating, he and she being the same thing, Walter then referred to Robert as she and would talk about Robert's behavior.
Robert E. She.
I believe Robert has passed away, sadly.
This guy, their names were Walter and Robert,
Walter and Robert.
and they were
I think you
Japanese?
can kind of choose a name that's similar to. There's also Jackie and Marvin, and my dad was friends with them, and he would take them fishing, and he thought it was funny that he would be fishing with Jackie and Marvin. They weren't super familiar with fishing,
yeah.
so they would get their poles tangled, and then he'd have to fix it. And he enjoyed doing that with them.
I think that's pretty funny, and I think I know this phenomenon of taking a Western name
Mm-hmm.
if you come to this country because your Chinese name might be hard to pronounce or something like that. But in my experience, I had a guy in college I knew whose name was, I think it was Chan, like Xian or Sean.
Okay.
And he went by Sean,
Sean.
which is
It's
pretty
solid.
adjacent.
It's pretty solid.
That to me is the right choice. I'm trying to think of a Chinese name or a Japanese name that lends itself to Walter or Robert.
These guys are all Chinese.
Okay.
The Japanica people.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
They're all Chinese and they run a Japanese restaurant.
Correct. Which is not uncommon. There's not a ton of migration from Japan in general and to here.
Why is that? I wonder.
They have like a solid setup over there, I guess.
People don't leave?
From my understanding is that, and I'm sure we can get more info on this, but I don't think that they're big migratory people.
Interesting. I know that the country is shrinking,
It makes sense.
the population, because nobody's having
They're
kids.
not having enough chilling.
Yeah.
So anyway,
All right. I'm sorry that
No,
I
this is
made
good.
fun of Japanica.
no, it's all good. I've forgiven you.
Japanica too.
Anyway, we showed up, and I know the lady there. Her name is Lynn. Hillary was quite impressed when I called, and she said, "Hey, Julio," and I was like, "Lynn." She's like, "Do you know that person?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I had put in a dollar amount of what I wanted to spend on the sushi, and I called them, and I was like, "Just make us a nice assortment." My dad then began starting to try to micromanage the sushi order. He called and asked what I was intending to get, and I told him, "Don't worry about it." And he then said, "Well, if you have a rough dollar amount, you could tell me, and then I could maybe contribute if I decided we needed more." And I was like, "I think we'll be fine, given the setup of the party. It's not a sit-down dinner. People can pick and choose. We're not a big sushi extended family.
Mhm.
You'll have plenty of salmon for yourself and for others who want it." And he goes, "All right." And then he started texting me recommendations, screenshotting menu items that would make it make sense. I ignored those. I ignored these suggestions. Dad, stop micromanaging the sushi. So it's unclear to me actually at this point if he actually called and added to it or not, because there was a ton of sushi when we got there for the amount that we had paid. So I was surprised, but it was also maybe A, he gets the lifetime discount. B, Lynn knew it was their anniversary. C, he may have also called in and kicked in some cash.
Wow.
It's unclear, as there were extra menu items that I hadn't anticipated. Anyway, I pick up the sushi. I put it in the car. We start driving. I hit the brake at one point because we're at a stoplight, and the top platter of the two sushi platters flies off onto the floor, opens. Most of the sushi falls in the backseat.
Oh.
Sushi gate. Hillary was like, "What should we do?" I said, "I don't know." We pulled over. We began trying to salvage what had happened. So unfortunately, the avocado and cucumber roll that was going to be for Zio Butcher, my mom, who are not sushi eaters, most of it was gone. Maybe one or two pieces survived. There's a little sus. And I started trying to so there was some sushi on top of other sushi that was on the ground. And I picked that piece up and tried to put it back in the platter. Hillary goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" I was like, "That sushi didn't touch the ground." She goes, "We're feeding this to your family." She's like, "You can't just put that back." I was like, "All right." So I started eating sushi off the floor.
You were going to eat your portion off the floor.
I figured I would eat a little of it since it was going to go in the garbage anyway. And I did. There were a couple grains of dirt and sand.
Adds character.
Potentially good for my immune system as
That's
well.
right. That's right.
As we
Get
previously
that white
discussed.
blood cell count
Get
up.
the white cell blood count. So before my dad was out picking up food too, and we figured this was our chance. So when we arrived in the house, we consolidated the two trays. I told my mom, "Take this to the grave." She said, "Okay," because I knew that if my dad knew that some of the sushi had gone on the floor. No, I would say probably 30% of the sushi went on the floor.
Wow.
It's a lot. We
Why did you-
consolidated the two
I'm curious.
trays.
Why did you feel compelled to tell her?
Because we were doing this in the kitchen, and I don't know. I was just like, "Hey, we have to quickly consolidate the sushi platter before Dad gets home. Please don't tell
Oh, I
my
see.
Dad or Alessio. They will probably hear this at this point, and will maybe hopefully think it's funny now that so much time has passed. And there was plenty of sushi for everybody, by the way.
Yeah.
I didn't even touch the platter until it was clear that no one else was going to have any more, and I had so much sushi that I was actually sushied out.
Mm-hmm.
So it worked out nicely. And Lynn, being the kind of person she is, she goes, "There's tempura here, and there's extra tempura sauce because I know how much Alessio likes tempura sauce." And I was like, "Well, Lynn, nice of you to know more about my own brother than me. I don't know what you're doing here, but thanks for adding additional tempura sauce."
Nice.
And no harm, no foul. No one knew what happened.
What were the other foods that your dad picked up?
There was chicken piccata.
Okay, wow.
Uh-huh.
So this was a
big platter of that.
multicultural, ethnic smorgasbord of tastes.
Correct. There was a giant caprese salad
Yeah.
with cherry tomatoes and bocconcini. I'm not a big cherry tomato fan because they just burst. So I like to score them before I eat them. I like to stick a toothpick or a piece of the end of a fork in so that the pressure is not so built up that it doesn't pop like a pimple and seeds burst out of my mouth.
Well, why don't you just pop the whole thing in your mouth, close your mouth, and then start chewing?
Because if I don't really put my mouth shut like this, if I'm not trying really hard to keep my mouth shut, the seeds will shoot from my mouth still.
This sounds
They'll
like you
come
have
out of my mouth.
weak lip closing strength. That the sort of integrity of your mouth closure.
You eat cherry tomatoes?
I sure do.
And they don't come, the seeds
I
don't come
can't
out?
remember the last time I bit down on a cherry tomato and the force of its explosion just pulled my lips apart and it ejaculated out of my mouth.
Expelling the seeds.
Like I was throwing up. I can't recall that.
It happens to me. So I like cherry tomatoes, but it bothers me that happens. I prefer a sliced, whatever tomato type of situation.
Yeah.
There was that. There was also a penne something or other,
nice,
which Hillary enjoyed.
Excellent.
She had quite a bit of it. I don't mean that in any sort of judgmental way, but she kept telling me that she was done, and I kept seeing her with a little plate over there. I was like,
oh yeah,
it's my girl.
Uh-huh.
I'll tell you what, watching her eat gives me a lot of satisfaction.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
When I see her eating, I'm like, how's that? I go up to her, I go, how is that? You eating good? It's good? It's yummy? It's yummy, huh? Yum.
Good. That is good. That's good. I like that.
That was good. Then we tried to go buy cheesecakes, but they weren't going to have any till 2 p.m., which I thought was outrageous. I sort of passive aggressively said, so in the future, should I try to call since there's a likelihood that you won't have your signature item?
Damn.
And they said, no, we almost always have them, but just this day we happen to not.
Wow.
I bought a bunch of cannolis.
Too bad.
My dad then saw me eat I ate one half of a cannoli, and then I went to eat another half. He goes, what are you doing? I go, I'm having a cannoli. He goes, you've already eaten one half of one. And I said, can you stop monitoring?
Why didn't you want to
intake?
finish the first one?
No, because we'd cut them in half.
He was saying that because he thought you were only due one.
He thought that the rest of the people at the party might not get to enjoy some cannoli. And to that I said, Dad, there's plenty of things that I'm not having at this party. And I said, he probably was right, but I was just annoyed that he was monitoring me.
Yeah.
And so then I ate an entire cannoli defiantly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then we went in the backyard and we started playing wiffle ball. And Hillary, it was funny, I was pitching to the little kids, and then Hillary decided that she would give it a try. And I was sort of underhand pitching to her, overhand pitching to her, and the pressure got to her. She had a big audience. I can even show you a picture of this audience because then it'll give you an idea just how significant the audience was. People had really taken a vested interest in what was happening in the backyard. And Hillary kept trying. And then I made some comment like, oh, come on, you can do it, or something like joking, and everybody laughed. And that annoyed Hillary too. She's like, oh God. And then she finally barely was able to hit it. And she got a little clap.
Oh, a little golf clap.
That was nice.
Probably didn't love that though.
No, she was frustrated because she's athletic and coordinated, and she felt that she didn't properly represent herself athletically.
Boy, a lot was going on.
A lot of good stuff went down. I'm going to find a picture of the audience for you because you'll see it's amazing how interested these people were. What was happening? This is a big audience.
And there's your dad driving the kids around on the
So
tractor.
yeah, my dad whipped out the tractor with the little attachment and gave the kids a ride. He also gave them little hats, which is a funny thing to have done. And they thought that was so sick, just to prove to our point from the last episode of how interesting, terrible things are when you're a little kid.
Yeah.
Driving around in that car. But it was very nice to celebrate the folks' party, and all fun was had all around.
Let me ask you this. Your parents have been married 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
Does their relationship serve as a template to you for how you would want your marriage to be?
I think so. I also think that it's interesting how, whether we want to or not, I feel like our parents' relationships end up serving as a template.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be good or bad. I feel like a lot of the times a man will commit the sins of his father as far as if his dad wasn't that great of a dad, he may not. Also, he may not. And granted, I'm sure you can have a great dad and still be a shitty dad, or the other way around. Have a shitty dad and be a good dad. But whatever. So to me, yes, I feel like they like spending time with each other. They do stuff together. That's nice. I would like that for myself. I'd like to be enamored by my partner late into life.
Right.
You know, I don't know. How do you feel that way?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I think that interestingly, I take after my mom in many ways. So it's hard for me to sort of place a direct line between, oh, well, I'm my dad, and then Sierra would be my mom, and then it's we're such different people from them that I don't. But then you take broader lessons.
Okay, yeah, interesting. Yeah.
Which are support, and I think my parents. Did I tell you this? My parents drive every year down to Florida from Maine, at the beginning of the year, and it's like a 26-hour drive.
What?
And I said,
your parents do that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they bring the dogs when they go for a long time. And so they drive 26 hours together. And
road trip.
They told me that, I said, well, what do you guys do? Do you, listen to podcasts, books on tape, whatever?
Do they take a break?
Oh, yeah. They do it over the course of 2 or 3 days.
Okay.
But they'll drive 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
They do it in quick.
From where to where? I'm just curious about how far.
Freeport, Maine to Boca Grande. I think it's 26. I looked this up.
No, I'm just curious, like the mile of distance. I'm not doubting.
Yeah, a lot of miles.
Boca Grande, Florida. Okay.
And they said that they really don't listen to books on tape. They end up just talking the whole time.
That's crazy.
They talk for 26 hours.
1,550 miles. That's crazy.
And it made me happy to hear that they still at their age have so much to talk about with each other and enjoy each other's company so much that they don't even want music on getting in the way.
Do they get along well?
I think they do. I think, and that's the stuff we don't see.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I thought that, then I thought about how, well, Sierra and I are in the car together constantly now. And we don't really end up listening to music.
I was going to say, you've said that about you guys.
We don't really fight in the car. The car is kind of a peaceful place for us. There may be something to not wanting to anger or upset the driver, where you kind of know you can't piss someone off while you're in a car.
Mm-hmm.
Because, if she were driving and I were in the passenger seat and I said something she didn't like, well, she can win that argument by driving us into a telephone pole. She has all of the power. Do you know what I mean?
Mutually assured destruction.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
But yeah, we enjoy being, the car's peaceful somehow.
Yeah, so it's funny. We like being in the car too, but when we are leaving the city in a car going elsewhere, we tend to fight for some reason. We fight in the car.
I think casting off is always a difficult process. Typically, one person is making the two of you late.
I can't remember what we fought about either, because we had such a nice morning leading into the drive, and then we ended up fighting. But hey, what are you gonna do? And that's nice for you guys.
Yeah,
you don't deal with that.
It's good. Yeah, we've been good. And I do think that your parents. But let me ask you this: let's say that you had met someone whose parents had a horrible divorce.
Mm-hmm.
Or something really, really acrimonious, which had made the girl you were dating super jaded about marriage or whatever. Would you think that? Actually, no. Let's say it didn't make her jaded necessarily. She still wanted to get married, and you knew that that's what you wanted. Would you be worried about the impact that her parents' destroyed marriage would have on her?
No.
And on the two of you?
Not really. Not at that point. Like maybe initially, but no. No, I wouldn't.
If given the choice, would you want to be with somebody whose parents were together or divorced? Does it matter? Is there one that's better than the other for you?
I mean, I would never. First of all, you're rarely. I can't imagine a situation where you were in this position where you had to make this choice.
Why not?
I don't. Well, I don't know actually.
Just
I'll tell you
saying
what,
in the
I'll
scheme
tell you
of
what.
your life,
Okay.
you know.
Say this. What if that person? Because you could say this. Maybe the marriage is bad. What if I get to choose marry or divorced? If those are the only choices that I get, and I don't get to learn more about those things, I would just do a coin flip. Because the divorce, it can be the the biggest blessing for some people, and and some people stay married and they hate each other. So
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. It's hard.
Would you take a happy divorce over an acrimonious marriage?
Yes.
Every day of the week.
Every day of the week.
I think I would too.
What, for me personally, or just from as far as like a
The
partner
person
goes?
you're dating, if they're her
If they're-
parents.
yeah. I would prefer a healthy divorce over a bad marriage. And I know some people who are like extremely healthily divorced.
Yes, but don't you then worry that the person you're dating, if her parents were so happily divorced, that she might look at divorce as a great thing?
No.
And say, my God, we can try marriage, but there's a good chance we're going to get divorced because it worked out so well for my parents.
And ultimately not worried. It's not a worry. I hear you, but no.
Mm,
Would that worry you?
no, I'm just being annoying.
No, you're not. It's like an interesting topic, but it's true. And I brought it up in a way. It's just like the idea of, whatever, we were discussing it. Parents making an example and you sort of having that example to look at whether you want to or do.
I read a statistic once that said that some insane children of divorce are, I don't know, 2 to 3 to 4 times more likely to get divorced themselves.
Really? That's interesting.
And I always thought that was because, well, maybe they hadn't experienced what it meant to have parents who were in a happy marriage and didn't have that template. But maybe it's because of what we just said, that they watched their parents divorce so happily and have that work out so much better for them, that when things got even remotely difficult in their marriage, they said,
fuck this shit.
Let's head for greener pastures. My parents killed it when they were divorced.
Well, dude, speaking of parental road trips, my parents are currently beginning a road trip as we speak.
Come on.
In fact, my dad just called me because he was probably likely in the car beginning his little adventure.
Where are they off to?
Which I helped them plan, actually. They have gone out west for the first time in their lives. I think that my dad's been to California, but like out west, like Wyoming, out west.
Jackson Hole?
I believe so.
Oh,
yeah. I don't know specifically if it's Jackson.
Do they know? Do they know that that's our spot?
I don't actually think, I don't know if they do or don't. I don't know how closely they've been listening. I know they listen sometimes, but this is the thing. I know they're going to the Grand Tetons. So like Jackson Hole is, I don't know to what degree Jackson Hole is avoidable once you're in that area. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of just in Jackson Hole when you're around there. Right? Is that wrong?
No, I think that's right.
So they'll certainly like see what the deal is. They've never seen it. And I'm super excited for them. I remember the first time I laid eyes in that part of the country, how impressed I was. These people, they see a deer in their backyard. They tell me about it. Like they're going to be blown away. Like they see a deer in the back, like the novelty of living in the woods has not worn off on them. If they see a chipmunk, they tell me. They'll tell me about all sorts of bird breeds, like you had mentioned in the last episode.
Bird breeds.
Bird breeds. My mom asked me, if I had ever heard of a rose-breasted grosbeak. I said, of course not, Mom.
No.
That's nice that you know about that. They love animals. They have bird feeders all over the house. They have bird baths. Any sort of animal is a noteworthy thing. So I think that they're going to see elk and have their mind completely fucking blown along with other animals.
Is a bird bath meant more for birds to drink from or to properly bathe and keep them cool?
I have no idea. I just always assumed, but only because I've watched cartoons, that they like to splash around.
I think it's mostly for drinking, which then makes you wonder why it's not called a bird water fountain.
Is it really for drinking?
I could be wrong. I do think the birds drink from the bird bath. I do think that. But I could be wrong.
No, I believe it.
We're going to have to find out later with Facts from Ryan.
They have all this stuff. They have this thing called suet. It's certain birds.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, I don't.
What's that?
It's some sort of.
Is that block of seeds that's
like fat
compressed together?
Yeah. It's like fat and seeds. And they love it. and occasionally meddling raccoons or other pests or squirrels will get in the birds' food and they have to sort of shoo them away.
We experimented my whole life growing up with the new and improved technology that was meant to be the anti-squirrel bird feeder. But I'll tell
Did it
you,
work?
I mean, we must have lived in an area that had American Ninja Warrior squirrels because no matter what obstacle we threw at them, they would find new ways. And that was one of my favorite things, was watching them navigate around this supposed guaranteed to prevent squirrels from eating from your bird feeder type thing.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, it is crazy. You know, take a picture of the squirrel eating out of it, we'll give you your money back.
Right.
Impossible to do. Yeah, it is interesting for sure.
There was this guy on YouTube who built a squirrel like course to get to the food and like made him compete in this
Oh my God,
whole
I'd like
video
to see
thing.
that.
It's really funny.
American Squirrel Warrior.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's sick, dude. Dude, last thing I'll say about the party and stuff. Hillary has a very strict, we have to have separate cards policy because of how bad she thinks my handwriting is. Just pretty funny. She doesn't want my card to represent her. And even if I say something nice, I just am not physically capable of making it presentable. So she writes her own card.
Well, why don't you just have her card and then you both, you write at the end of it from Hillary and Julia?
I mean, I fine in most cases, but when it's my parents, like
you need your own. Yeah,
I have to say my own.
That's
thing.
fair. That's fair.
So whatever. We did that. Great, all good. Now
Mhm.
they're on the little road trip. Very excited for them. I hope they have a good time.
Excellent.
They go on scenic drives all the time around places that just don't even have scenery. So like compared to this, so this is gonna be big for them.
Wow,
I'm very, very excited for them.
that's great.
Yeah, they
That's
will very much
great.
enjoy it.
Really nice.
Very nice, dude.
Really nice. Happy voyages.
So
Bon
speaking,
voyage
bon voyage, parents.
to Big G and Mama G.
Little G, Mama G. So dude, we had talked about food poisoning and stuff and prevention. We've gotten a lot of helpful tips from our Oops community.
Is that so?
Yes. So I know that you had spoken to the doctor and he'd given you a Z-Pack and some Imodium. The Z-Pack, God forbid it were to go bad, that would be a thing that could help you kind of get past it faster, which is interesting. But we've learned some nice, interesting preventative measures too that I wanted to share with you.
Okay.
First of all, starting to take probiotics a couple weeks before
You
your
mentioned
show.
that, yeah.
I mentioned that already?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Another one, oregano oil, supposedly.
Never even heard of that.
Yeah. Apparently this one person messaged us saying that taking oregano oil leading up to trips, Central America and Mexico, and she's never had a problem ever once on any of those trips with her stomach.
Did you know that originally that people who hailed from the state of Oregon wanted to be called Oreganos,
Really?
but they couldn't because the spice had already taken
No
the name?
way. That's so crazy.
I made that up.
I should have known.
It could have worked.
But it's true. Like even oregano, it like makes sense.
Yeah.
That, like
Think about
oreganos.
it. Oreganos, Oreganos, Oregoners. That would have been cool. Oregoners. Now, what I wonder
I've
what.
learned that Oregon is the wrong way to say it.
Right, I have to.
Only because people from Oregon have corrected me.
What
I used to call it
what
that.
are people who hail from Oregon called? Because we're Mainers,
Mainers.
right? What are Connecticuters?
No, Connecticutites? I have no idea.
Connecticutites?
I don't know.
In Oregon, they are Oregonians.
Oh, that's cool. Oregonians.
Yeah.
Connecticutians? Ryan's looking up
Connecticuties.
Connecticut.
You got New Yorkers, Texans.
Connecticut's?
So many. Yeah,
Connecticutites?
that's cool.
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Connecticuters.
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 I don't love
It's
that.
like kinetic cutters.
Yeah.
Like you're
Yeah, it's-
cutting energy.
Too choppy of a word for
It's
it.
pretty choppy.
Dude, we went to the restaurant Carbone for lunch on Sunday.
How was it?
It was good. It's quite a heavy lunch.
It's a heavy Sunday lunch. But that could be nice. Was it a nice afternoon afterward?
Yeah, we were with 3 of Sierra's best friends were here, and I went There's just me and Sierra, me and 4 ladies at a lunch.
And Sierra?
Yeah.
Mm,
And it was fun, man.
yeah.
I got to tell you, I had a great time.
So are you picking up the bill on that one?
No, fortunately. Because, and by the way, a good way to really not set expectations that you might do that is to make it seem like you really don't want to go. And then
Come
they're like,
on.
no, you
We'll
can
pay.
come, you should come. You have to come. Come on. And then you say, oh, fine. And if you relent on an invitation as opposed to being the person that's like driving the whole vibe there, typically you're not expected. I contributed. We split the bill 5 ways
Nice.
and I paid my share, but I wasn't going to pay
Yeah, no, I feel
the
you on
whole
that.
thing.
Yeah.
But we had an awesome time, man. And I had been there once for dinner, but a long time ago.
Mhm.
And the thing that I remembered was that the house-made mozzarella was warm. And they bring it to your table and they cut it with these scissors,
Nice.
which is oddly satisfying.
I love that.
But I knew that the caprese salad had the warm mozzarella on it. And I said, we've got to have the caprese salad because it has the warm mozzarella. They said, okay. But then they brought us out this sort of
Cold
thing. No, it was, they brought us out a
Oh, they didn't scissor
something
it
that
in front of
wasn't we didn't order.
Oh,
It
interesting.
was like the bread course,
Okay.
but it had the mozzarella with it.
Okay.
So we all got to try the mozzarella with the bread course, such that by the time that the caprese arrived, the mozzarella was redundant,
Got it.
and nobody even wanted that much mozzarella.
Interesting.
So then I felt like an idiot,
Dangerously cheesy.
and I
as
was
Chester
mad
would say.
I was mad at the restaurant for not telling us that they were going to be bringing us this platter. You know,
So, how have you approached like this month? The wedding's coming up. I feel like we haven't even talked about it enough.
I've lost my way.
But like,
I've given up.
what does that even mean?
I'm not working out.
Okay. But
You know.
besides the working out thing, like, how do you approach? Like, have you been like, we should be a little more judicious? We're about to like, have this big wedding, and we're about to have this extravagant honeymoon. Like, are you approaching your everyday life differently or not?
In terms of spending,
Sure. In terms of everything, spending, I'm curious about. We know about exercise already.
the spending is worse than the exercise.
Because you're just so far in the hole already that you're like, fuck it.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, I know.
I
that
say,
feeling. I
okay,
know that feeling.
fuck it. Throw another log on the fire. The house is already burning.
That describes my 20s.
The gates are open. I will do damage control someday.
Yeah, I was like, I'm so in debt that I'm going to get the death penalty or something.
Yeah.
So therefore, throw another 1,000 on the fire.
This
Let's open another credit card.
Yeah, these credit card balances will be paid off by whichever poor person has to pick up the slack when I'm found dead. Whoever this gets passed on to, hopefully my life insurance policy will cover it.
Nice. You have a life insurance policy?
I don't yet, but I need one because of how bad these credit cards have gotten.
Yeah, dude. It's bad.
And I'll tell you something. Part of the reason is we went to Carbone, right? Had a few Cocker Spaniels.
Oh, yeah. Not cheap.
Had a few Cocker Spaniels.
Not cheap.
And then it was about 4 p.m. in Soho. And I thought, you know what I need are some chic outfits for safari. Can't just be showing up on our safari looking like a doofus.
You need, yeah, of course.
I need to look like a Ralph Lauren catalog.
You need a cheetah print
I need
button down.
I need Ernest Hemingway boots. I need the proper outfit for a safari. I don't want to look like a doofus.
That's great.
And so we started going around the town. And you know the problem? Let me tell you something. Compounding this, not only were the floodgates already open, right? The wound is bleeding, is hemorrhaging blood. So I just say, okay, I'm already hemorrhaging money. I've had some cocktails, so the purse strings are significantly looser.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm with Sierra, who is just thrilled to be dressing me as her personal Ken doll.
Yeah.
Nothing could make her happier than helping me choose outfits.
The Kenification of Francis.
Yes.
I love
Yes,
it.
I'm her little
Muse.
dress-up doll. Yeah. So we went to a couple different stores and, we're all feeling the fabrics. Oh,
Feeling the funk.
that'll breathe well for the warm days and cooler nights.
Have you
You need a two-way fabric.
in with the good, out with the
Oh,
bad?
I need to sell my crypto.
Yeah.
At a huge loss.
Yeah, dude. But have you fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say.
I got a lot
Sorry.
of stuff.
But dude, yes, you bought a lot of shit. That's exciting.
I am excited about it.
It's great. It's great. But yeah, like Chris and I were discussing this the other day too. Like, at what point did $17 become the minimum price for a cocktail? When did that happen?
It's a good question.
That just happened overnight.
It really did.
What happened to the days of 13 being like, ooh, all right, fuck it. I remember that. That wasn't long ago.
Dude, the Carbone is 20.
Yeah.
But you're like,
17
well,
is like baseline. Like not
Baseline.
even a nice place. A place that's decent, 20. Immediately.
So if this is happening and everyone is noticing this and that people care, the answer I have is learn to make cocktails.
Yeah.
I will say that of all the skills I've honed
You're a
in
good
my
cocktail
life,
maker.
making cocktails is a skill that is so pleasure inducing and shareable. You can bring joy to so many different people if they come to your place, and we've talked about this a lot, but
Yeah.
if you're getting a restaurant level cocktail, and by the way, it's not that hard. It's hard to mimic a mixology bar cocktail that has herbs and spices and Oregonians in it, all that shit. But like, as far as just making the basics, a Negroni or I haven't learned this one yet, but to make a proper martini, I'd like to make a proper dirty martini.
Also, check out our recipes on our comos.com/oops.
That's it.
For the Skinny Marg, for the Lago de Comos, and for the tequila lime shards. If you have enough time to, it's still warm out, make some of those tequila cockers.
Bingo spaniels. Yeah, making good cocktail. I mean, go to the New Hampshire State Liquor Store where there's no fucking sales tax, and you can buy nice bottles of tequila for 40% less than what you'd buy them for at one of those liquor stores in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Get your mixers, get your shit.
Hell yeah.
Get your limes at a Trader Joe's.
Delish.
You're making that cocktail for a lot less than $17, a lot less than that.
That's true. That's
Sure
true,
are.
man. That's true. Dude, Hillary has been dressing me. We've been assembling my outfits.
Do you feel
'Cause your wedding's a big event for me too.
Do you feel the loss of your personal freedom?
Not in this capacity. I would never.
Have we talked about this?
Yes, we have. But I have never. So I've talked about the general encroachment upon my right to dress myself. However, the good side of that is this. Hillary is picking things for me specifically based on every single thing we'll be doing the entire weekend. So I'm going to be good. And she's over ordered. So we're going to try stuff. We're going to decide. Already got some stuff. I don't want to say specifically what, because then if anyone's listened to this at your wedding, including you, you're going to be like, oh, those are those. And I don't want you to know what I have already and what I've already, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
However, I'm very excited because I would never be able to prepare myself for a boat ride chic outfit. I would just use what I have. And guess what? Don't have what I need.
Don't.
But I will, thanks to the dog.
Dog.
Bless her
Love
heart.
that. Nobody should be worried, by the way. It doesn't matter. I think that when you go to a wedding or a big event, if there are costume outlines, as long as and it says something very weird, like summer cocktail festive Caribbean vibes on the thing. And you're like, well, I've never seen those words in that order. What do? Just throw on a nice blazer, khaki pants, loafers, button down, you're good to go. You're not going to
Fine.
offend anyone as
Dude,
long
I don't
as you
have any of
dress
that, bro.
nicely.
I like don't really have any of that.
You don't have a coat?
I do, but like I don't.
What color is it?
I have a couple.
You need a blue coat. Every man needs a blazer. Just go to Brooks Brothers. Go to Jose Bank. Go to wherever.
I have them technically, but
go to
like
Goodwill. Whatever.
but still, like the preparation required, still like making sure everything's dry cleaned, making sure like it's just like not that easy for me. I've gotten better at it. But
Do you dry clean your coats and suits after every time you wear them?
depends,
I certainly do not.
but I usually do.
And this gets me into trouble.
So this is why I do.
I get
For
into big trouble.
Dude, if I show up at your, like, I'm taking a risk. Like, I know that I have my suit for your wedding dry cleaned. It's sitting there in a bag. The bottom of the bag has been tied. Nothing can go wrong. I know for a fact that's going to be ready. If I am re-wearing, there's a chance.
It's going to open it up. There's going to be termites in there, lice.
Bed bugs. There's a chance. That's funny.
Half eaten by moths.
Dude, there's a chance that if I didn't do that, there'd be some like stain I didn't know about.
Yeah, the
Or it's
stains.
in worse condition than I thought.
The stains have been a major Achilles heel for me in my life recently.
And if I'm gonna check, I might as well just get a dry clean. So because I'm not getting a dry clean, I'm not gonna check. And maybe I'll check the day before, but what good's that gonna do? I'm fucked no matter what at this point. Unless I'm gonna buy some new shit, which I'm not doing at that point. You know?
Right.
I don't have even time to tailor it. Like
Hundo pay.
so getting a dry clean makes me feel better. We have a very solid dry cleaning operation that we use. It picks our shit up for us, which I know is not unusual, but it's like half as expensive as any other thing we've ever encountered.
Nice.
Which is amazing.
Cool.
So anyway, suit's ready to go, but all the rest of the stuff's going to be ready to go too. And Hillary knows when specifically we need to order it by for it to be there on time. She is a one-person showroom planner.
Wow.
And it's all me, baby.
Cool.
I'm the model.
I like
You
that.
know what I'm saying?
That's fun.
You know what I'm saying?
Fun.
So I'm taking your wedding very seriously.
I believe it. I knew you would. You're a major piece of it.
I'm a piece.
Here's a question I have for you, right?
I'm
so
a piece.
I've been to some weddings in the last year where I didn't give them their gift at the wedding.
Oh yeah.
And they tell you that you have a year to get someone a gift.
Yeah.
After their wedding. And I'm wondering now, some of these people that I have not gotten their gift yet are coming to our wedding.
Mm-hmm.
But some of these people are doing much better financially and successfully than I am.
Okay.
So there's this part of me that wants to give them their gift before our wedding because I think that they will get me a better gift than I'm going to get them.
So then why would you do that?
Because
Wouldn't you then wait? If you knew that? Because if they get your
if they
gift,
get me a gift for
I
our
see what
wedding,
you're saying.
I will feel
You'll feel
compelled
ashamed.
to have to get them
that good of a
something
gift.
on that level
I hear you.
of the same.
Yeah.
And
Same
then,
caliber.
and you even have the thought of just saying to your buddies that you haven't gotten a gift for, let's just call it a wash.
Yeah.
Let's just cancel each other's gifts out.
That's not a bad call. Wedding stuff has really gotten out of hand.
But we can't do that because of the ladies.
True.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not. You're right. But dude, I remember a time where, and I don't actually remember this time. I only know it now that I've been talking to older people. Where if you were going to a destination wedding, I don't know that I would consider your wedding a destination wedding. By the way, it's technically drivable.
50-minute flight. I'm not calling that a destination.
At this point,
wedding.
it's not called a destination wedding. It's also at your fucking house,
Yeah.
which also makes it not as much of a. You know what I mean? So let's say your wedding is not a destination wedding.
Let's
but
just say
for-
it sucks.
No, dude,
'Cause that's where you're going.
that's not where I'm going. Obviously.
okay. Whatever.
Well, my point which has nothing to do with that. That back in the day, by going to someone's destination wedding, it meant that you didn't have to get them a gift. That is certainly no longer the case.
yeah.
But my
Right.
approach to gift giving, I do honor the year grace period, and I will specifically put a calendar reminder 6 months down the road to get one if I've looked at the registry. All the good options have either been exhausted, they're out of my price range, or they're too good of friends to just get them a Crusade pot or whatever. You know what I
Le
mean?
Creuset, yeah. Everyone wants one of those. Everyone's registry has that shit.
You know, like I don't want to get you one demi-test cup.
Yeah.
So, do you know what I mean?
Set of 6. Each one costs $200.
Yeah,
You're like, yeah,
exactly.
here's one glass.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
You're not going to have any others.
One option that I do opt for often, if there's some sort of charitable donation that you can make on the bride and groom's behalf, if they're not like one of my best friends, I'll do that. If that's an option on the registry.
Interesting.
You know,
I don't think we're going to have that.
No, I know, but I'm just saying.
I mean, we may say that, but
Dude.
that charity is going to be the charity of our fucking honeymoon fund.
I wouldn't get you, for you, like you're too good of a friend to do that for.
To do a charity for.
To do, you know what I mean? I could
Yeah.
do that, but like,
Yeah.
and you're not, yeah. So whatever. So yeah, man, it's the expense of people's weddings. Instagram has really fostered in this era of extravagance when it comes to weddings, leading up to the wedding itself, the gift giving, and it's a thing. You know what I mean? But we're getting used to it. We're all preparing, and you know, I think that the year thing though, you can fully take as much time as you need.
I know, but do you hear my issue? You know?
Yeah, I do. So you want to get ahead of the problem by getting them an affordable gift.
At
so
this
that
point,
they
I'm
get
too
you an
close to
affordable-
my wedding where if I did give them a gift, it would just be absurd. They'd be like, we know what you're doing here. Clearly, you did this to get it under the wire.
Captain Obvious alert.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you just gotta, dude. I mean, listen, like the competition can end at gift giving. You can just get them a nice, thoughtful gift. Show that it was obvious that you took time picking it. You don't need to buy them a fucking race car. You know?
Yeah.
I do hear you though, because then they're gonna come in with a higher baseline gift, and now you have this thing, and you need to now get them something that's more expensive than you had wanted. But dude, who gives a fuck?
Because if they give us a gift for our wedding and it's really expensive, and then I still haven't given them a gift for their wedding, and I come in way under that, I worry that they would regret the choice that they made for the scale of their gift to our wedding.
I hope not. Would you think that you might think that way if you had a similar situation?
Well, yeah, to me, it just makes the whole gift giving thing silly because we're all just handing it back and forth to each other.
Right. How likely are they to know the price of the gift that you've gotten them? How consumer aware are they in that department? If it's some sort of house good.
I'm not really getting people those gifts.
What are
Most
you
of the
getting
time,
them?
I just give everyone money.
So that's your problem. When you give money, you have to give more money. That's the expense of the lack of thoughtfulness, is you have to upcharge yourself. You incur a 30% fee minimum there.
A guilt fee?
A guilt fee.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw money at this problem. There you go.
You might be right.
So you think you anticipate receiving cash?
Well, I think what's going to happen, they have these things on these registries now where it's, put this towards their honeymoon fund, or, a gift certificate for Zola to buy something off their registry, but that's just cash to you.
But the Zola thing, does it have to go to your registry?
I don't know exactly. There are things that are on our registry, but I told Sierra, do not put many things on our registry because we need money to pay for our honeymoon more than we need Le Creuset pots and demi glasses. But there will be things because there are people from older generations who prefer to get proper gifts. And by the way, I certainly hope that I'm not making any three of you nervous. You guys don't have to get us a fucking gift. I don't expect gifts. It's all good. The gift of you coming is enough to me. And Sierra's built the same way. It's the kind of thing where it's like, well, they've got a year and 11 months and 29 days later, we have forgotten who has given us a gift and who has not.
I call bullshit on that, dude.
If
none of us get you a gift, bro, you won't even mention it. You'll be like, you know what? You'll sit here. You'll be like, I don't care. It's not a big deal. But I just do think it is a little. tacky that Julio, Chris, and Ryan, none of them got us any gifts.
No.
And maybe it's because
No.
they've been in our house and they've seen.
Oh
I
my
don't know.
God, you
I don't know.
guys. Stop this. Stop this. I truly mean that, the fact that you're all coming and spending money to get there and time is the gift.
But as to your point, it's an exchange because you then will be at ours, presumably,
We'll see.
making that same sacrifice.
Yeah, I
Ryan will have his at Quinnipiac, where he was once the president
Yeah.
on the campus of Quinnipiac. The entire student body will be invited as well to give him an honorary bow.
He has to be.
Chris will have his at the monastery down the street from his house.
That's it. Friar Chris.
And I don't know where I'll have
Brother
mine.
Chris.
TBD.
You're going to have it Japanica.
Japanica 1.
Japanica
Farmington.
1. The ruins of Japanica 1.
Bro, I'm getting you a gift. All right. I actually might not bring it to your actual wedding though.
That's fine. That's probably, please don't, in fact.
Okay.
Because we're going straight on our honeymoon. I don't know how we're going to get shit from
That's
there to
interesting.
here.
You're gonna have to ship your things that you were
It's
given.
going to be a headache. We have people who are going to bring a bag or two back for us because they're driving.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's really nice.
That is really nice. What
Yeah.
percentage of people are driving versus flying?
I can't know. I'm not sure.
You two are driving? That's so fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna have a little day.
The drive's really not bad. I would encourage you. What are you going up Friday?
Yeah.
Are you guys
Yeah.
going to listen to the podcast while you drive?
No. Bang out a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would encourage you to leave early.
We are.
I don't think you don't have to leave at fucking 5, but the longer you wait, the more that bullshit traffic through Connecticut
Oh, God.
just starts to build up.
We won't get stuck on the Merit.
Yeah.
Dude, that drive really does suck. Like, I was doing it this weekend, and it is one of my least favorite drives. Like, at least if you're, driving to the Hamptons, you're going to the Hamptons. At least you
You're
have
going
the
to
Hamptons.
Maine.
I know, but I'm saying.
Maine in the summer?
No, but
I'd rather go to Maine in the summer than the Hamptons.
hear me out. I'm saying, but the Connecticut part, like if your destination is within Connecticut, I'm
Oh,
driving to
yeah.
central Connecticut.
Yeah. I see.
Besides my family living there, it's not much of a destination. No offense to where I'm from. Like, there's stuff there that's redeeming and great, but there's just no reason for the congestion. Whoever planned the highways just wasn't anticipating this level of congestion, and you're just sitting in traffic for such a large percentage of the time. It's super unusual.
Victoria and I drove up to Boston Saturday morning, which was supposed to take us in an ideal world, or whatever that thing is that you mentioned.
Chronoptimism.
Yes. Should have taken just under 4 hours. It took 5.5.
Yeah,
and
dude.
we were stuck on the Merit, and it was traffic for nothing.
And it's accordion traffic. It starts and stops for no reason.
It was
Mhm.
brutal.
Have you heard that term?
They
before?
used-
No, but I like it.
It's good, right?
They used to at one point. My friend grew up in Connecticut too. Do you know this, Julia? That they had picnic tables in the middle
Of
of
the
the
Merit?
Merit, and people used to a long time ago.
What a
People used
hazard.
to picnic there.
That's crazy. The
No.
Merit is really the Merit intimidates my mother. She doesn't like driving
It's
on it.
pretty too,
It is
but
pretty, but it's difficult to merge onto. And
That's a 2-lane narrow
5 and 15,
yeah.
yeah.
tree line
Yeah.
highway.
My dad loves to say that it's one of the most beautiful scenic highways in the country. And then Hillary will say that I love to say what my dad said. And I say, okay.
That was tough to follow, but I got it. Yeah.
We got in a fight one time about what we say. I think I don't know. I had expressed concern that she was working too hard and that she was talking about work a lot. And somehow that turned into an argument. And I learned what I talk about a lot. And I learned that all I talk about is traveling, comedy, and what my dad says. That's all I talk about. Those are my only 3 topics. But then we hugged and made up. Hillary and I have very open communication, and we communicate very well, and we make up well.
Mm,
And I think it's a nice thing.
that's good.
And we hug.
Yeah. I was having a meltdown the other day, yesterday, having a full blown meltdown. Just
happened?
really, spiraling.
About what?
I didn't even know.
You were just full.
Couldn't
spiral.
really pinpoint the problem.
So what's that like?
It's tough for me.
When you spiral and you're like, why am I spiraling? And then you're like, I actually don't know. Or do you know?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I think I know, but the reasons change
And what
quickly.
How does it manifest itself? Like, what does that look like?
I'm angry. I'm frustrated, but it's within me.
You're just in a bad mood.
And yeah, but I also know fundamentally I can see 2 to 3 moves ahead. So I know
With
that
the
if
good
I
chess
just,
player that you are.
well, it took a long time to master that. It took a lot of therapy.
Warning signs of when the spiral will become a big spiral.
Of just knowing that the reason I'm feeling bad may not be because of the top of mind problem.
Because of what you think it is.
That it might be that I'm tired or it could be all sorts of things. And as I've said to you before, a lot of the time the problem is that, especially since quarantine happened and people start working from home, the only person who's around is Sierra. So she is going to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to hear why I'm upset or why I think I'm upset. Whereas when she used to go to work all the time, I'd be upset. But then by the time she got home, I'd be over it.
She doesn't have enough evidence. Oh, okay. I hear what you're saying.
I'd have worked it out.
She wouldn't have seen it happen.
Or I'd have seen someone else in the interim, like express myself, figured out that it wasn't a big deal, and then gotten over it. So it's first of all learning, okay, don't just go start spewing feelings out loud. Try to get to the source of this. Also, discount a lot of what you're feeling because of the fact that you're tired. You're a week and a half from your wedding. Your credit card bills are higher than they've ever been. You're, about to start a brand new job. And there's all kinds of things on your plate right now that are creating a mountain that appears far more insurmountable than it may actually be.
Anticipation's a bitch, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I ultimately found this way out of this because I started saying, I can't be buying clothes when we have to pay off the honeymoon. I can't have you encouraging me to buy clothes. Like, I need your help trying to find a way to control myself.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to be my teammate in protecting me from my compulsiveness or my impulsiveness. And she was like, this is not my fault, obviously. I didn't tell you had to drink at lunch. I didn't tell you had to come to lunch, all these things. And I didn't tell you we had to go shopping after. And you had even said that you might not be able to come to lunch because you wanted to go do some shopping. So I was going to go shopping no matter what. And so when she said all of that, and I was like, I just don't feel ready for this wedding. Like, I feel ready to marry you, and I'm certain of that, but I feel like I've let myself go. I'm not, all this stuff that I've said to you guys many, many times.
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm not at the top of my game. And
right. The routine has been absolutely shattered and thrown out the window.
yeah, the routine's gone.
There's unprecedented things happening every single day, and it is unsettling, even though albeit exciting.
I thought about this. It's like, man, there's a part of me that feels like we should have taken the honeymoon before the wedding.
Interesting.
Or a mini, let's call it a mini moon. Take a mini moon before the wedding.
I've been hearing that term a lot. Mini moon.
A lot of people are doing that.
Mini moon. Man, I'm happy that you're taking a proper honeymoon though, bro.
So am I.
It's not a thing people do enough these days.
I'm really
honeymoon
glad
is
we're doing
supposed to
it.
be way too long. I'm not saying you're doing it way too long, but it's supposed to be longer than any other vacation you will likely ever take.
Such a long vacation we're taking.
But it's amazing. That's sick. That's what you're supposed to do to celebrate your marriage.
Yeah. We're always going to look back on it. But when I say do this mini moon before the wedding, right? The idea of having, to me, let's say 3 to 4 days at a spa retreat, place that has a good gym, clean, healthy food, a little sun, swimming.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of thing, 3 to 4 days before the wedding, to just clean soul and go into our wedding feeling like we have a steady heartbeat and, on the same page, rested, sun touched. That to me makes more sense.
Right,
I don't know why.
So, dude, this is what I'm going to say to you. Take it or leave it. I'm by no means a professional, and this might be a quack's words, but just remember this following. You're about everything that is stressing you out are all really good things. They're amazing things. The honeymoon, you're so excited about it. You're looking forward to it. It's expensive. Who fucking cares? When has your credit card bill being crazy ever really impacted you at the end of the day? You've made it through every time so far. You'll make it through this time. You're getting married. It's going to be so fucking fun. You're starting a new job. It's going to be really sick. If there's a way to look at it in a way that doesn't make it stressful, you should try because it's so fun and exciting and you should be nothing but excited about it. And I'm not discounting your feelings, but I'm encouraging you to try to look at it in a non-stressful way.
I appreciate it. Look, you guys will all experience this. I mean, my God,
I've been there too.
Whether weddings are built up because of what society has made us think of them, or because there truly is that much planning and that much expense and that much monument of moment that accompanies it, who can say? But either way, I am a huge blend of roiling nerves right now, where I'm like, oh my God, out of nowhere, it's a week away.
Right.
This thing that we've been planning longer than any other thing I've ever planned in my life. The only thing I can really compare, at least in terms of the amount of planning I've put into something, was the special that I did.
Oh yeah.
And that was really, I had a lot of nerves going into that. But even then I got 2 takes at it.
Yeah.
I was like at 1 shot at the wedding. And you know, there are a couple things that I have going for me. One, it's at our home.
Yeah.
You know, it's at a very comfortable, familiar place.
Where they've actually executed a wedding.
They've done it
Not
a
long
year
ago.
2, I trust Sierra's vision and taste without question. I know that what she has worked on and all the nights she's lost sleep over will translate to a vision, an exemplary vision of beauty and fun and joy. 3, I think to your point about people waiting late for weddings, we're benefiting somehow from our broader friend group having a weird kind of glut of weddings.
Right.
I think glut's the right word. There haven't been that many weddings this summer.
Oh,
there were a ton last summer. So even though we're at the end of August, which would normally come at like, you'd be like, oh, this is our 6th wedding of the summer.
Right.
Somehow there have not been any in our friend group. And so I think people will have the energy for it.
Right.
And then 4, and most importantly, I have no question or uncertainty about the person I'm marrying.
Mm-hmm.
I feel so confident and at peace and lucky to be marrying Sierra. And our love heading into this wedding is peaking. We are in the absolute go zone right now. We miraculously are getting along, even though we're like stressed and fighting, but not fighting with each other. We're just fighting outwardly about things that are bothering us. And those always end with us comforting each other because they're not problems derived from each other.
Mm-hmm.
She's got,
you guys are in the trenches together.
Yeah, there's a bonding that comes through that.
It's fun.
And man, I got to tell you, I cannot imagine going through this if on top of everything I just mentioned, all the stresses and things, I had a lot of uncertainty about the person that I was marrying, which a lot of people do.
Mm-hmm.
If they're like, have I made a mistake? Do I even love this person? Like, whatever, all of that. I mean, I've heard stories about people that went to weddings where they were in the wedding and either the bride or the groom confided in them.
Oh, God.
Like the night before the wedding or 2 nights before the wedding, like, I don't think I'm marrying the right person.
Oh my God.
And then you're up there like the next day, like
smiling,
being like, no, don't you dare look back. Just put your eyes on me. Shut up and dance. Like,
do you remember?
Yeah. You're like, give it up for Mr. and Mrs. Seymour. Yay.
This is bullshit.
Yeah. You're like, you're lying as a guest,
Oh man.
pretending to be happy for
That's
this
a tough
couple.
position to be in.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
That are headed for the rocks in short order.
Well, dude, you guys are gonna knock it out of the park. I'm excited. It's gonna be a good time.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Hopefully there's some lesson there for some people.
Yeah. Figuring it out.
Yeah.
Love, marriage, all that shit, man.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, what do you say?
Facts with Ryan. Facts with Ryan.
Well, after hearing such a beautiful statement from you, Francis, let's go back to what we first started about. Children of divorce are 50% more likely to marry another child of divorce.
Wow.
And
Wow.
children of divorce are 35% more likely to have a divorce of their own.
That's pretty damning. I'm sorry to hear that.
Interesting.
That's
Interesting.
tough.
With bird baths, it's for drinking and cleaning. So I looked a little
Wolf.
deeper. It wasn't until around the 1840s when there was a large, well-off middle class in England who had time and money that bird baths began to be made. And they were thought of as a piece of garden furniture. So furniture of the garden. And then,
Is that big of a fact?
That's nice.
well, because we
yeah.
were talking about furniture a couple of
Yeah.
weeks ago. So
Right,
it's just
right.
furniture
Yeah.
everywhere.
Nice.
I love it. I love it.
That's it.
I love it.
That's it for today.
Those are all the
Thank you,
facts.
Ryan.
But you
Yeah.
didn't tell us if they were for drinking or for
Yeah,
bathing.
he did. They're both.
They're
for
for
both.
Both?
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
That's very nice. It's like the medieval bowl that gets passed around.
Yeah.
That's for like doing snot rockets and washing your face.
Ugh.
And it's your responsibility to
Ah.
clean it if you have one, because
The bird bath.
the bird bath, because some will bathe and some will drink, and you have to stay on top of it because
Yeah.
they'll die and get sick.
Gross.
Need the birds healthy.
Giulio Gallerati, where can we see you?
The Stand, September 15th.
Big show.
If there's any tickets left, come see it.
Good luck.
Charlotte, North Carolina, the Evening Muse, October 20th. Ann Arbor, November. Tickets on my website, notjulio.com.
That's awesome. I'm in Greenville and Charlotte, North Carolina, September 29th to the 31st. My first shows as a married man. Tickets for that, francisellis.com. We love you. Thank you guys for supporting us. We'll see you soon.